The news that my boyfriend proposed to his secretary went viral. Everyone says it's romantic and touching. The secretary even posted a touching message. "I finally waited for you. I'm glad I didn't give up, Mr. Lewis. I look forward to spending the rest of my life with you." The comments section was full of joy. Speaking of which, what a sweet female secretary and CEO. My OTP is the sweetest. I didn't cry or make a scene. I quietly closed the page. Then I went to my boyfriend for an explanation. But I overheard a conversation. He and his friends. "I have no choice. If I don't marry her, her family will force her. Marry someone she doesn't love. What about Selena? She is your real girlfriend. Aren't you afraid that she will be unhappy? What's the point? Selena has been with me for 7 years. She can't leave me anymore." The day I married him, cars passing each other. The brides exchanged bouquets. When I saw myself sitting in the wedding car opposite, he completely broke down. Chapter 1. Mom, I agree to this marriage. In the dim living room, my soft voice sounds lonely and numb. Mom was surprised when she heard it. "I agreed to this marriage. But you didn't want to. Why did you suddenly change your mind?" "Selena, marriage is not a trivial matter. Regardless of whether this is an arranged marriage, it doesn't matter. I just want you. To be happy, you must think carefully. Don't be impulsive. Listen to your mother." I couldn't help but feel a lump in my throat. "Mom, I've thought it through. You can start preparing for the wedding." Mom knows I'm sad. After a while of silence, he comforted me. "You and Lewis have been together for so long. But he doesn't want to announce your relationship. He still avoids meeting our parents. Your father. I knew from the beginning this wouldn't last long." Her words were like a needle piercing my heart. "So that bystanders can clearly see. I'm the only blind person. We have already chosen it for you. My father and I have carefully selected someone for you. Not to mention, their personalities and family backgrounds. All are first class. My Selena deserves the best." I took a deep breath. "Thank you, Mom. I trust your and Dad's judgment." Mom continued. "So should we arrange a meeting between the two of you? In the next few days?" "No thanks. Let's continue preparing for the wedding." I hung up the phone. I'm not sure when Lewis appeared behind me. He holds a small cake in his hand. He asked with a puzzled look. "What wedding? Who's getting married?" This is mine," I thought silently. But I never said. I shook my head calmly. "Nothing. Just friends." As soon as I finished, I noticed that his expression was visibly relaxed. My heart tightened again. Is he really that nervous? Does he think I'm forcing him to get married? Or he is planning to marry his beloved secretary? "Diana, I thought I had found it. I brought you your favorite cake from that place. Do you want to eat now?" In the past, after get off work, Lewis always brings me something delicious. Even if some of them are not to my taste, it always feels sweet, like I'm dipped in honey. Because I cherish the feeling of being missed, being fed by the one I love, more than just the taste of the food. But now, looking at this cake, it feels ironic. I just saw that Diana had given up her privacy. Social media posts made public. I only browsed a few and couldn't continue. At this moment, I realized how stupid I was. This cake is Diana's favorite. Not just this cake, but another. Snacks and nuts are also Diana's favorites. Even more sad is, I found Lewis has a habit of bringing me food after get off work. Diana started to join the company. "So, Lewis, who do you think I am when you feed me? Selena or Diana?" I swallowed the bitterness and said softly, "I don't like sweets. They are too greasy. Don't buy it again." "Luis, I didn't expect this reaction from me." There was a hint of surprise in his eyes. "Really? I've never seen you say no. Together for so many years. If he really cared about me, how could he not notice my eating habits?" After some things are repeated countless times, eventually became a compromise. I didn't argue further. I'm just saying my tastes have changed lately. Chapter 2. Lewis seems unusually busy these past few days. He was so busy that he forgot my birthday. But I don't care anymore. It was as if he suddenly remembered. However, to make up for he bought tickets to my favorite musical. The show was very popular. It's almost impossible to get a ticket. I can't get it myself. So when Lewis told me he had tickets and invited me, I agree. But on the day of the performance, Lewis did not show up. Instead, I saw Diana's post on the social media platform. Show off 2 tickets. Her title is, Just Watching a Concert to Kill Time. It's nice to have someone always satisfy your whims. Although she didn't show up. The scarred hand in the photo is undoubtedly Lewis's. That scar is from when he saved me a few years ago. At that moment, I felt like a fool. As I stood outside in the rain, worried that something might have happened to him. He and his secretary sat in the VIP seats inside. Enjoy the show. Cold raindrops fell on my face. I feel cold all over, and my heart feels cold too. Then my mom sent me a message, told me the wedding was in 2 weeks, and asked me if I felt it was too hasty. She said they could postpone it if I wanted. I shook my head. No, that's it. The storm paralyzed traffic in the city. I've been waiting for a long time, unable to hail a taxi. Luis finally called me. Why weren't you home? My voice was calm, without a trace of emotion. I'm at the People's Theater. He seemed to suddenly remember something. He paused, then said, I'm sorry. Something happened this afternoon. Wait, I'll pick you up. I didn't refuse, but I knew he wouldn't come. Sure enough, the next moment, Diana updates social media again, so that I don't catch a cold in the rain. My CEO husband made ginger tea. Men in the kitchen are the most handsome. Marry me. In the photo, Lewis is cooking at the stove. I took a look and then calmly exited the page. The rain inevitably makes me catch a cold and have a fever. I used the excuse that I didn't want to infect Lewis. Move into the guest room. Lewis took a break from work for the first time. Stay home and take care of me. But I can't adapt. It's just a cold. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself. Go focus on your work. He stared at me strangely for a long time. Don't you always want me to be with you? When you are sick. Why are you acting so different today? I lowered my head to hide the emotions in my eyes, and forced a smile. I was not mature at that time. I'm not like that anymore. Lewis looked at me with concern. Selena, are you okay? I'm fine. You can go now. He still thinks there's something wrong with me, but I don't know what it is. Finally, he just looked at me deeply and sighed. Okay, have a good rest and call me if you need anything. After he left, I let out a long breath and lay down to sleep again. When I woke up, I saw my mom sent me detailed wedding plans and photos. There are more than a dozen wedding dresses for me to choose from. I browsed through them absent-mindedly. Enlarged the image for a closer look. I was so focused I didn't even notice Lewis enter the room. Suddenly, he grabbed my phone and threw it aside, frowning unhappily. Why are you looking at wedding dresses? I thought he knew I was getting married, and will confess. But his next words made me realize how ridiculous my assumptions were. Selena, are you trying to force me to marry you? I already told you I would marry you. You don't need play these little tricks to hint. This is so disgraceful. Chapter 3. You misunderstood. I'm not. But Lewis waved his hand. Interrupt me without listening to my explanation. I have things to do. Let me give you some advice. Stop playing tricks like this. This will only drain my feelings for you. The door slammed. The whole room fell into deathly silence. I stood there for a long time, let out a self-deprecating laugh. Lewis, how much do you love me? Even leave to drain. In the past, his misunderstandings keep me awake. And anxiety. But now I calm down quickly. I'll go back and check the details. My mom sent me the wedding information. Before exiting the Messages app, I randomly clicked on the notification point. His social media. What surprised me was, Louis rarely posts anything, just updated his status. His posts, "Excellent people like you deserve to be approached. This way I can feel at ease." This photo is a solo photo of Diana, accompanying their wedding invitation pictures. In 1 minute, a mutual friend. Bro, that's it. The bride was easily replaced. This post disappeared quickly, but it appeared on Diana's profile soon after. Then Louis called me. In the past, I would take a screenshot immediately, call him back, and ask for an explanation. The battle won't end without a storm. But I didn't answer this time. Even after the call ended, I had no urge to answer the phone. Strangely enough, I wasn't as depressed as I thought I would be. Maybe I'll become numb. My first reaction was to notice. Their wedding date coincides with mine. What a coincidence. When Louis comes home, I'm already in bed pretending to sleep. He quietly opened the door, walked to my bed. "Selena, are you asleep? Why didn't you answer my call?" With your back to him. I muttered. I accidentally fell asleep and didn't hear it. He was relieved. Leaned over and reached out to check my forehead for fever. "Is the fever gone?" As he approached, the fragrance of a woman's perfume lingered in his heart. Makes me sick. I almost vomited. I instinctively avoided his touch. His hands froze in midair, his face full of confusion. He asked tentatively, "Selena, did you see anything?" I buried myself in the blanket and lowered my voice. "No, I'm just tired because of the cold. I want to sleep." I slept soundly all night. The next morning, I finally felt much more relaxed. Gathering strength, I started packing my things. Erase all traces of me in this house. Little by little. That's when I noticed all the little matching items I bought for us as a couple. At first, Louis and I used them together. But at some point, he threw them aside, gathering dust in a corner. I packed up all the unused items, then throw them in the trash. Then I found an album. It's full of photos of our travels, the postcards we collected together, tickets for our long-distance trip, and the letter he wrote to me. This album was once a treasure trove of memories from the years we were together. But since Diana appeared, no new photos added. When Louis comes home, I threw the album into the fireplace. He rushed over like a possessed man. "Pull out the burnt album. Rescued from fire with bare hands. Ignore burns on your hands." He looked at me angrily. "Are you crazy? Do you know how important this album is to us? Why do you burn it?" Louis rarely spoke loudly to me, but this was the first time he shouted so angrily. The concern in his eyes doesn't look fake. But he actually hid. He plans to marry someone else. Equally true. I didn't want to argue with him, so I just lied. The album is moldy and has bugs. I have backed up all the contents. I'll make a new one later. Hearing this, he calmed down. When applying burn ointment to his hands, Louis stared at me and suddenly said, "Selena, you seem to be a little weird lately. Does work stress you out? I've booked a personalized vacation for you. Go relax." Chapter 4. My hand stopped. As I applied the ointment, I looked up at him. "Only me. You won't go with me," Louis sighed. His tone was full of regret. "I'm too busy at work and can't spare the time. I'll join you next time." "Okay. But Louis, we won't have a next time." I put my head down and continued doing what I was doing. My job may not allow me to take a vacation. "Don't worry. I'll take care of it for you," he replied. "I don't want to go, I insist." His tone was undeniable. Good performance. "I have already booked everything and it is non-refundable." I didn't say anything, but my heart grows colder with every word. I remember last night, when I was half asleep, I heard Louis call someone. I'm not going to tell her. As long as I can keep it secret, I will. Just for safety during the wedding. I will send her on a trip. Let her enjoy it. The person on the other end. "So, what are you going to let her do?" Another woman. Louis was silent for a long time. It feels like eternity. I heard the deep sound of cigarettes. Then exhale slowly. Finally, after what felt like an age, he spoke. What happens next? We can only take it step by step. The pain is unbearable. Like a knife stabbing my heart, I lay in bed, tears blurring my vision. It feels like the past 7 years of my life. Nothing. But this is a cruel joke. Louis, I never really understood you. If you don't love me anymore, why don't you just say it? Why did you choose to deceive me? Are you afraid that I will pester you? Is that why you're using this elaborate plan? Send me off at your wedding. You don't have to go to all that trouble, Louis. I will fulfill your wish and disappear completely from your world. I asked him, when is the flight? The day after tomorrow. I smiled and said, okay, I'll go. Hearing this, Louis obviously relaxed. Instinctively reached out to pat my head. I walked away quietly. He paused. Then he smiled and said, let's have a meal together before we leave. I thought about it for a while and finally nodded. Tomorrow is our 7th anniversary. I think, let's end this properly. We will say goodbye. This relationship will begin and end. Same day. The next day, I arrived at Louis's restaurant early. I have agreed to meet. He showed up on time, but he wasn't alone. Diana was with him. Selena, she said sweetly. Louis and I are doing some work nearby, so we decided to go together. I hope we didn't interrupt. I shook my head, but I was disappointed. Even this last farewell meal is incomplete. Louise ordered a light meal. Diana noticed the dishes on the table and smiled. Louise, these dishes are too bland. I don't think they're Selena's taste, do they? Louis didn't mind at all and replied, you are menstruating. You shouldn't eat spicy food. As he spoke, he called the waiter thoughtfully and asked them to take away the cold drinks. In front of Diana, switched to a cup of brown sugar ginger tea. Diana pouted and complained that Louis was too controlling. Louis slapped her forehead playfully. If I don't take care of you, you'll cry soon. When your stomach starts to hurt. Diana stuck out her tongue and teased. You're exaggerating. You're just too worried about me. They both flirted openly in front of me, completely ignoring my existence. I watched calmly, feeling indifferent. Not even a ripple of emotion was left. While eating, someone suddenly shouted, fire. There was chaos in the restaurant and people were running away, rushing to the exit. I stood up and saw a figure flash past me. Next moment, I saw Louis holding Diana tightly. He protected her and rushed out without looking back. It feels like going back in time. Going back to when we were 18 years old through the memory tunnel. At that time, under similar circumstances, I am the one he protects at all costs. Once we get to a safe place, Louis finally came to his senses. He turned and looked at me, standing not far away. His face was filled with shock. I was in a hurry. I didn't mean it. I interrupted him with a smile. It's okay, I understand. The travel date that Louis booked for me is coming soon. I packed my suitcase early and make sure there's no trace of me left. In the room, carrying the luggage, he left without looking back. Of course, I didn't travel. Instead, I returned to my parents' home, preparing for my wedding. After all, my big day is coming. Meanwhile, Louis, busy trying on wedding outfits with Diana, even noticed my absence. The wedding is here in the blink of an eye. The first time I met my fiancé Ryan, I have to admit that my parents have good taste. He looks more handsome in person than in the photo. Handsome, tall, perfect. He is perfect. The parade was grand. I got on the wedding car. We set out in a magnificent convoy. Once, our car passed another, coming from the opposite direction. Both cars stopped. Allow brides to exchange bouquets. The car window rolled down slowly. In another car, Louis and I looked at each other. There was a storm of disbelief and shock in his eyes. His voice trembled when he spoke, unable to hide his surprise. Selena, how could it be you? Chapter 5. Louis couldn't believe his eyes. His heartbeat quickened uncontrollably, and he whispered, "This must be a mistake. Selena was supposed to be traveling. How come she is here? I must be imagining her because I miss her so much." Diana was also shocked. She stared at me without saying a word. Compared to their shock, I was much calmer. There is no extra expression on my face. I present a bouquet to Diana, as if suddenly waking up from a dream. She hesitated before taking it from me, and handed me hers. I smiled and said to her, "I wish you happiness." The car window rolled up. 2 wedding convoys set off again, going in the exact opposite direction. Just like my relationship with Louis, destined to go separate ways. But when the car drove away, I thought I heard a heart-wrenching scream. I instinctively turned towards the direction of the sound. But Ryan, who was sitting next to me, reached out your hand and gently covered my eyes. His voice, with a hint of unexpected fragility, ringing in my ears. "Selena, since you have agreed, you can't go back on your word now." Is this my imagination? Why does he sound hurt? Even though we are getting married today, Ryan and I are almost strangers. Mood. Just like there shouldn't be any hurt or disappointment between us. This must be a trick of my disturbed mind. I took his hand away and solemnly comforted him. "Don't worry, I believe in keeping promises. Since I agreed to this marriage, I will abide by our agreement. I won't break my promise. Apart from, Louise is not worth any change from me." In another car, Louise became increasingly anxious. Ignoring Diana's attempts to calm him down, he immediately called the airline. "View my trip details." I didn't board the plane yet. His mind went blank. With shaking hands, he called the travel agency. Did the tour guide pick up Selena? The negative response completely crushed him. The bride in the car just now, Selena, must be Selena. She lied to me. She didn't travel at all. Selena lost her cool. Louis rolled down his window and screamed at my car. But the only response he received was, "The exhaust gas gradually dissipates. My car is getting farther and farther away." Diana tried to comfort him. "Louis, you must be mistaken. That woman looks a lot like Selena." But Louis refused to listen. He was sure it was me. He shouted angrily at the driver, "Turn around now," chasing the wedding car. The driver was obviously not used to the situation, hesitated, and did not take immediate action. Seeing this, Diana shouted to the driver, "Don't turn around. Keep going." She leaned her whole body toward Louis, trying to calm him down. "Louis, is that person Selena and no longer with us? Today is my wedding anniversary. Don't let these outsiders ruin our special day. Let's talk after we get married." "Okay." But Louis didn't accept it. He pushed her away. "Get out of my way." His eyes were bloodshot. His expression was horribly gloomy. His eyes are sharp enough to kill. He yelled at the driver again, "Turn around immediately." The driver was frightened by Louis's behavior. No more hesitation.